Hey, it's James Glass, and I wanted to talk about 2 tips on hanging split jamb, aka clamshell doors. Now, you may notice this looks a little weird because the molding is missing, and that's because I didn't like the molding that came from the factory. And I'll talk a little bit about that at the end of the video, but the 2 tips are: frame your rough opening so it is really right. Make your hinge side perfectly level with a really straight 2x4. And get it plumb so it's level in both directions, and then use no shims on the hinge side door. Put all your shims on the striker side, and let me tell you why. So take a look at this door. It is incredibly well installed, super solid, shuts great, has a perfectly spaced 1/8 inch gap all the way around, super straight, wonderful, right? Absolutely no shims on the hinge side, none. And the reason for that is, one, you don't have to fart around and have shims on both sides, which is kind of a pain in the ass. It's just nice to be, and you know, when you hang one of these doors, you always hang the top hinge side first, so you don't have to deal with putting a shim in. You've got this jamb all the way against the 2x4 that's in the wall. Whether it's this load bearing or partitioning doesn't matter. It's really nice not to have any shims on the hinge side. And you still got a 2-inch to work with. So this is a 28-inch door, so it's a 30-inch rough opening. But the nice thing about that is on modern doors, whether it's the inexpensive masonite ones like this or Luan or whatever, if you get this straight and you have no shims over here, all you need for a shim on the other side is a 3/4 inch piece of stock. How beautiful is that? And you can always add more if you need to, and I'll show you that in a second too. Right? But it just so happens that 3/4 inch is the shim you need if you use no shims over there. And it's perfect. Now, I must have gotten this 2x4, I must not have been as focused on this side, because it turns out I needed to add about 3/16 inch at the bottom and maybe about 1/8 there. So I added more shims here, which is fine. You can always add a few more shims. And they're all nailed through, see that? So the shims don't move. And then I'm also going to foam this for acoustics and for structure. I'm going to shoot some foam in there. And this is going to be fan-frickin-tastic. This door will last forever. It'll always be straight, it'll be true, it'll open, it'll be great, right? So there's the 2 tricks. No shims over here, 3/4 inch shim over here. So if you do a rough opening that's 2 inches larger than your door size, that'll work out perfectly. Okay, now what about this trim thing? So normally when you see a split shell, I went ahead and installed this using the original profile of the trim, which is pretty typical. It's what you get at the box stores. And if you look at this, you'll see it's got all these little lines. You know, I'll show you the profile from the end. See that? That's the profile. I don't like it. It doesn't match the trim in the house. I only have trim on the baseboard and the doors. This house has minimal trim. None of the windows have trim. They're all mudded. So I have a profile that looks like this. See that? That's the baseboard. So this goes against the bottom. The baseboard is the trim at the bottom. So I want to put this same trim on the door. So I just pulled off the factory molding, and I'm going to be installing this because I like this profile better. So, you know, that's what's going on with that. But anyway, yeah, so the tricks. If you get your rough opening really straight, you got it really square, you got it really plumb, you got it just it's perfectly level, you can install that jamb, the hinge side jamb, without any shims. And that puts all your shims over on the striker side, and then it turns out to be pretty much right at 3/4 inch. Occasionally you might have to add a shim like I did here. And then foam the gap. Perfect. It is just so straight and so nice. Okay, well, hey, thanks for watching.